The Hall of Fame is the Saturday before WrestleMania. And, it's interesting. It's a really interesting pick. It really is. Because, well, it's really unexpected. But since he was a really big company guy, not like in a way of getting a big push or a world title or anything like that. In fact, I don't think he's held any titles that I can remember. So this will make it very interesting to go over what he's done in the business. But it's Hillbilly Jim. Really interesting pick. But he's been a company guy for like forever, and it makes sense. And honestly, his wrestling career isn't that much. I mean, it really goes maybe towards the 90s. And that's about it, Well, not counting the gimmick battle royal, of course. And if you could survive that, I mean, God, you might as well get the fucking Hall of Fame. And just based on the fucking gimmick Hall of Fame, the Iron Sheik's in the Hall of Fame. Nikolai Volkov's in the Hall of Fame. Sergeant Slaughter's in the Hall of Fame. And that's pretty much about it. Besides, with Hillbilly Jim going in this year, that's about... the Bushwhackers are in as well. So probably half the fucking gimmick battle royals in the fucking Hall of Fame. So that's something in itself. That's incredible to think about. But, you think about what he's done. It's interesting. He hadn't really been around that much. I mean, he's been around for a while, but, you think about, if anything, he had a little bit, maybe a couple years in Memphis, and then went right straight to the WWF, where he was trained in kayfabe, of course, by Hulk Hogan. And it was interesting to see Hogan being shown in the packages there because of, what Hogan's done. And I'm not going to go into that because that case is, he won fucking $140 million or whatever, and it was later changed to a lesser amount, but still, of course, they don't want Hogan being there, but, because of the sponsors and, it's a publicly traded company and stuff like that. But, and honestly, Hillbilly Jim didn't do that much, I'm being honest, besides the WrestleMania 3 match with the midgets and King Kong Bundy, where Bundy famously fucking almost killed a midget. I mean, I've watched the match, and it was incredible. It was fucking ridiculous. And of course, he has some WrestleMania matches, in the WrestleMania, in the Battle Royal with the NFL people, WrestleMania 2, which was 3 different arenas at the time, and the aforementioned match with Bundy and the midgets. He worked Survivor Series or 2. And, it's interesting, I mean, he did get some marquee wins, he did get a win over Andre the Giant, which is saying a lot, although it was a DQ win, but, a win's a win, against Andre, because he didn't lose that much often, but, and of course, you think about contributions. He created the puppet called Mine for George the Animal Steele, another Hall of Famer. But honestly, you think about what he's done, he was also a manager. He was a manager for the Godwins. You think about it, for the Godwins, and they won the tag titles, I believe, yes, with Hillbilly Jim. I was going to say it was with Sonny, but that was something else. And of course, you think about the slopping, but that was more of the Godwins than the actual thing with Jim there. He was part of that, but that wasn't, wasn't the one that did the bucket, the Sonny, but that was different. And of course, he's been a Legends host for WrestleMania Access, for WrestleMania 20, 21, 22, 23, and several other ones. And of course, he was around a lot for the Coliseum home video, and if you remember that, God bless you. But let's look at the things he's done, really. I mean, of course, he managed Cousin Jr., who I believe, was, just people there. Cousin Luke, not confusing with the Bushwhacker. Uncle Elmer, and God, you don't want to remember the Uncle Elmer match at WrestleMania 2. It was fucking horrible, and thank God people have forgotten it. But, it's there. And, of course, the Godwins. But as far as accomplishments, they're not really that much. And I'm saying that with the utmost respect. He didn't even win any titles in Memphis, which is surprising because pretty much everybody had a title in Memphis. But for Pro Wrestling Illustrated, he had the PWI Years Edition, was ranked 298 in that 500 edition of the PWI Years in 2003, and of course the Hall of Fame. But it's an interesting thing, and how can we forget the song "Don't Go Messing with a Country Boy"? 2 songs basically are in the Hall of Fame now. "Fucking With My Baby Tonight" and "Don't Go Messing with a Country Boy," what actually I believe won a Slammy. I think one of the original Slammies. I believe it did. I'm not 100% sure, but it did. But he's a great guy, did a lot of great charity work over the years. And if anything, again, if you can survive the Gimmick Battle Royal intact somewhat, you fucking deserve the fucking award for the Hall of Fame. There's no question about that, because that match was fun. It was fucking great. It was, I might actually watch it tonight again, just because it was great. Just for the commentary for Heenan and Okerlund alone, that made the match for sure. But because it wasn't a long match to begin with, and you think about it, also I think the one of the Freebirds, P.S. Hayes, is in the Hall of Fame now. So about half, if not the majority, of the field of the Gimmick Battle Royal is in the Hall of Fame, and that's really weird to think about. So I'm just going to leave it at that, because that's really weird to think about.